Mistakes Over Failure, where CEOs and board members from around the world share the good, the bad, and the ugly of their diversity and inclusion journeys. We are CEOs.
We understand the pressures of leadership and the rules that are often unwritten.
I'm Dr. Christine Crawford.
And I'm Leslie Wingo. Together, we're here to spark honest and frank conversations that will encourage us to think differently, learn from failures, avoid inaction, and encourage each of us to make mistakes.
The world needs better leaders, and we can become better together. Welcome, everyone, to Mistakes Over Failure. And today we are excited that we have Ms. Jenny Jing Zhu with us. And Jenny, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, Christy and Leslie. I'm so excited to chat with you today. My name is Jenny Jing Zhu. I'm a founder, former CEO, and now a chairwoman of the board at Lush Decor Home. Lush Decor is a leading home decor brand dedicated to create beautiful, meaningful, and accessible products that inspire and uplift through design, empowerment, sustainability, and digital innovation.
Very nice. I have a few questions for you. They're really short, so there was no prep required. So are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. They're fun. Where are you from?
Shandong, China, from a very remote village.
What emoji do you use most often?
Oh my God. The most I think is a heart.
What is your favorite book?
I have so many, but the recently one is the name called From Strength to Strength by author, I forgot his last name. It's about success, the happiness, and the deep purpose in the second half of the life. I recommend it. It's really good.
What was your first job?
My first job is a hotel maid in Beijing, China.
Business acronyms, do you love them or do you hate them?
Depends what of the day.
And what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh gosh, I love to eat. I love food. I would say is the hot, right out of the oven, the crunchy, soft, the nutty bread with like a good olive oil with garlic and a red pepper flake. I'm hungry.
Well, I'm so excited to meet you. I've been doing a lot of reading about you. And one of the things that I read is that you're this dedicated champion for girls and women everywhere, which is incredible. And you share your story in your bio, and it's to instill hope and strength in those who find themselves in the shoes of my younger self or facing similar battles. Can you share with us what led you to this powerful commitment?
It's a long journey. It's like a roller coaster ride, but in the good way. And I grew up in this remote village in Shandong, China, without electricity. Can you imagine that? No phone, no fridge, no Netflix. So after high school, I ventured out to Beijing, China, and started working as a hotel maid. And from there, I became a station, eventually ran a dry clean business and a few other as a small business owner. When I was 26, I made this big leap and immigrated to the United States without speaking much English. My first job in the U.S. is a nanny, and I was dreaming to be a fashion designer. So I applied to the Fashion Institute of Technology and worked at a home textile company for 4 years. Then in 2008, during the financial crisis, I gave birth to my second child, Lush Decor Home company. I always say child. One is my son, which was born 2007. So they're 1 year apart. I was on the verge to be a single mom and with my broken English. So it was one of the toughest time of my life. But it's, we made it through. After 10 years of bootstrapping, I stumbled into this private equity world and sold partially to a PE firm. After that, we tripled the business to over 100 million. And now, as a chairwoman of the Lush Decor Home, I'm co-parenting our teenage daughter, Lush Decor Home, which is 16 years old, and with the new CEO, Paula Preddy. And we're preparing to send her off to college soon. So I couldn't be proud. So these days, my job is to be a cheerleader and focus on doing good and making impact. The thing is that when I thought about it, from that village to come here today, is just been through so many ups and downs and facing, from even in China, when I venture out of the village, go to the big city, I didn't feel I belong because everybody you're different, how you dress, how you talk, your accent, even in the big city, is a lot of, the things I just feel like I have all this confidence issue, especially when I immigrant to the United States, when you don't speak language and it just knock your confidence to the ground. So one of the things I remember is when I got here, I got an argument with my ex-husband. He's the reason I got here. He came here for law school. And after the argument, I ran out, and it's in the evening. I just wandered in the neighborhood. I look at all the windows, it's just the light. You can feel the warmth, the family inside. But I feel that's like a world away from me. It's just you just feel I don't belong here. I don't know anybody. I just one of the things is I felt at that time, I said, disappeared. Nobody would notice. It's just I get so emotional right now. It's just I think it's a belonging always in there. So now I feel I'm so fortunate and I'm capable to help so many people, the girls and women and immigrants, and, to just to go through the stuff I've been go through. Hopefully they can get more support. They can get some resources where, when I needed, I didn't have it. So now I can give to. So that's, just wanted to share my experience and let a lot of girls and women, I feel no matter where they come from, and no matter where their circumstances is, if you can dream, I think there's, you have the courage to take a risk, to go and have the discipline to keep trying. And no matter how many mistakes you get, no matter as long as you keep going, and, there's a chance to win. And if a girl from a tiny village in China can do it, anything's possible.
So what is the thing that you wish you'd had? So when you were in this new country and you were feeling all alone, if you'd had a magic wand, what would you have wanted?
I would have somebody I can talk to, somebody telling me it is okay, I'm not alone, or somebody give me this, or a role model, or just let me know I'm not alone. I think that is a tremendous.
I have a question. So when you were talking about your journey, you talked about belonging and not feeling like you belong. What were some of the things or some of your experiences to change that dynamic for yourself? And then also, how do you change that for others? Because it's so hard to define a feeling.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. It's now, in the company, the Lush Decor Home, we have probably, we always, with people, we have about 80% women And in the leadership team, also 80% women. And we speak probably over 11 different languages. We probably the background from like 8 or 9 different countries. We are very, very diverse as a team. It's like, there's a lot of for the first generation, second generation immigrants. And it's like, I always feel like I was one of them. From like the feeling I feel I don't belong to today I lead in a team to let them feel they belong here. I think is the most like, I think make me so proud and to do. And also, when I talk to, for example, one of the members is like also is an immigrant, has this little kid. Even like I can feel it's just like me and my son in the early age. You have to, overcome the language barriers, a culture shock, and then you have to constantly prove yourself to others. And it's a lot of things more than just your capability. There's so many of us all in the same boat. We can help each other. We can support each other. No matter if I'm the boss, I'm like the leader or not. We are the same in that situation.
So how do you keep yourself so positive, especially as you were building your career and you made mistakes? One of the reasons we call this podcast Mistakes Over Failures is because when people make mistakes, they shoot for something that was probably bigger than themselves and learn something along the way, as opposed to failure and redoing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right. Why I am so positive, I think, is after so many mistakes, after so many things go through, I think it now is one thing about the age, the positivity age. You learn so many things from what you've been through. And, the early stages, the biggest mistake I think I made is I always feel I'm not good enough. I feel I don't know if even though you go through one milestone after another, but I never felt I'm like, when you achieve the certain things, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like worthy, I'm good enough. I haven't really felt them until I feel like, I don't know how many, only like probably 5 years ago. I always feel I have to constantly improve myself. I have to go from milestone. We're getting, from getting to 10 million, getting to 30 million, getting to 50 million, even getting to 100 million. The business, I still feel I'm not good enough. I still have this, imposter syndrome in me. Oh my God, this is all going to be temporary. I need to keep going. Until like one day I got so burned. I got so burned out. I had a panic attack. So that is really a reality check for me. And I've been through so many, the journey to finding, finding the happiness of finding what is the meaning of this about. Because after the 2018, with private, sold partially to a private equity, I got, one thing I feel is so relieved because the financial stability. That thing I feel I achieved. I always feel I wanted to make sure, it's almost in a surviving mode. You're constantly going, oh my God, I need to make sure my baby gonna be taken care of. I needed to make sure I have a roof on my top. All these things, suddenly, that is done. Then I feel like, what's next? Of course, I want to scale the company. I want to keep going. But suddenly you feel so empty. It's just like, why you keeping doing that? What is the meaning of that? I think that is really a journey for me to explore in the last 5 years. I think what I did is I went to Harvard. I did the OPM. I just wanted to learn. It's because in the first 10 years with the company, I just constantly, you're like a horse with a blinder. You just keep going. You don't look left to right, just keep going. Just one goal after another.
Can you tell everybody, in case they're not familiar, what is OPM at Harvard?
It's the Owner President Management Program. So I went to there and, I just wanted to learn. I wanted to learn about myself, learn about it from the others. I think it's really helped me when you're stepping out of your business. You really look at what it is about. Another thing is really impacted me is one of the coach asked me to write my eulogy. Oh gosh, it was taking me 2 months. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just feel, oh my God, I keep on writing. I keep on deleted, writing, deleted. But in the end, I actually did it. After 2 months, after I did it, I was crying. It's literally, you have to think about you are gone. You physically gone in there. When you think you just out of this world. And then what is then you're looking back on my journey? I said, oh my God, what did I do? I did, yes, I got my financial freedom. I did this company. What I left, right? That is just like, that's it. What I want my son remember me. And it's like, all of that, what I want my friends remember me, what I want my team remember me. And it's just like, you want to see, almost feel like I'm standing there looking at this person's bed. I'm going to read my own eulogy. What are you going to say about it? I think that is really a moment for me to feel, to find the meaning of my life. So I decided to, I think I have a purpose. I have a purpose is to use my journey to talk, to share my story, to talk to the girls and women, and just share my experience, share the good, bad, ugly. So that's what I'm doing. I just, I wrote a book. It's never in a million years I would have thought I'm going to write a book, because in the Chinese culture, how I grew up, you never talk about your stuff. It's like, if you talk about your success, you raised to be humble, you should never bragging. That's a bragging. If you're talking about your struggling, and that is the stuff you should talk behind the doors, that's a shame. But because there's a lot of things personal, it's really raw. It took me 2 years to decide that I'm going to publish it. It's because I feel people can learn from it. There's the value from this journey to, give people some thoughts, and hopefully they can avoid some pitfalls, and hopefully they can learn some grace and resilience.
So it sounds like you've had a lot of transitions, and with the wisdom and the lessons, and I think some of the fearlessness that it sounds like you now have. What are you looking forward to most? So you graduated yourself from being CEO to now chairwoman. So what excites you most about this next?
So it's a very exciting thing. It's like 6 months ago, we hired this incredible woman. Her name is Paula Preddy as the new CEO. When I first met her, it's like, there's a lot of people think there's not possible. You think something, I'm so tough. I'm so stubborn. I'm so and we're not going to be able to working together. They think, she is very smart. She's very calm. She's very, we are totally opposite, personality. And it's just it's just that stereotype. I think these two women never can work. But it's really for two of us, we really clicked from the first day. I think it's because we both grew up from the village. She's from Italy. I'm from China, and we're both immigrants. We're both very a big dreamer, and has very ambitious. She is a PhD in data science. She is the chief digital officer from one of our VMH group. She's been in a lot of a big fashion brand like Montclair and Mars. It's just, she's incredible. She's not just capable to do things. I think it really made us to want to work together is the mission. When we first meeting, we got together is not about, okay, how are we going to make sure the business to improve the EBITDA, blah, this or that is the first meeting we talk the most is, wow, that is like, I love the story. I love the mission, how we can show being a role model. And now with all these team leaders, we're working together. You can see the energy. That's like keep me every morning. I jump out of the bed. I say, oh my God, we have so much thing we needed to do. And we just so much thing we can conquer. And it is really making me so excited. I said, oh my God, watch out of these two women.
But you'll both have such unique and differing experiences, and it sounds like your entire company is built that way. What can leaders learn about that, not diversity of, diversity of thought, diversity of people, diversity of culture, and making it into part of a new culture which you are creating?
Yeah. So I think the DNA of our culture is always like, in the beginning is a group of the people wanted to make this work. And it's like whether you call survival mode or what. And now it's like, one of the team member told me, said, I feel so good because I feel I don't need to think about it as a game. In a lot of people, you have to think about it. Oh, what is the game I need to play here? You just solve the problem. You just support each other to solve the problem. And also I feel like as the immigrant leader, one thing I think we learned is the empathy and adaptability and the resilience. And this is so important because it's because we have been there. Every time I want to talking to the team and the politics team, we always say we are just a part of everyone. It's nothing, there's no title change. There's no, the boss or this or that. Is really, we are working together, try to achieving something bigger than ourselves. And it's just like, it's so powerful. I just feel like I'm being inspired every day when I think about this incredible women, incredible team, team members working together. And it's just very powerful. And for a lot of, leaders, I think in a lot of company, you can put so many words there, the culture, what is the culture? I think it's really by end of the day, is you have to, what is the culture, the good and the bad is how the team feel. It's not about what we say. You should ask the team how they feel, how we can solve their problems to make them feel this is the place to feel, they be seen and be valued and feel they can have a support system, because that's how I felt when I came into this country. And I start in the beginning, how I get into building all of this is the belonging.
So when you think about leadership and thinking about your younger self versus where you are now, what are some of the things that you would tell women coming up in business? What should they be thinking about? What are some of those pitfalls that they should also stay far away from, if at all possible?
Gosh, there's just so many, but if it's really, really
Sure.
boils down for, relatable to the mistake and the failure, I feel like, it's inevitable to make mistake. It's really what matters is how you recover from that mistake, how you learn from that mistake. I'm a strong believer is you never fail if you don't give up. And if you learn from your mistake, the only thing you can do, either you win or you learn. So it's like also one of another thing I feel like for all, especially women, because we are the caretakers. We are like, there's so many roles you're juggling. And a lot of us think we can do it all. And a lot of us think, don't know how to ask for help. It's like now you think about it take a village to do what we need to do. And so we needed to know how to reach out to our community to ask. It's like now, when I looking now, I feel like is so many resources, in our YPO community, is that you can just reach out. There's so many people there wanted to help you. You just needed to know what you want, how you ask, ask to go ask. Don't fake perfection. And it's just like, be real. Is okay to, feel like today some days I feel I cannot get out of the bed. I just feel I'm feeling it. I cannot do it. It's okay. You have sometimes we just feel like we needed to be kind to ourselves. I think a lot of the very strong-willed, ambitious woman is so harsh, so critical to ourselves. And it's like, I think one of the things is we needed to be gentle. We needed to be kind just to ourselves. That's just so important.
So is there a particular experience that taught you about being kind and being more kind to yourself?
Yeah. So we talk a lot on the business side. It's like, for example, when I started this business, as 2008, I was just like, I wanted to have a business, but I don't even know how to register business in the US. I just have this passion. Oh, I want to design. I want to put the shelf. I want to selling it. So at that time, I had a partner wanted to help me, said, I wanted some equity. I don't have money. I can be your CEO. I can help you. And then I said, okay, great. So I gave him some equity and we started the business after a year. And he said he wanted more. I said, no, we're not even make money. And I said, no. And it is like, you wanted to, I have this gut feeling something is not right. But one day I got, he came to my office, started reading me a termination letter, said I was fired. And then, he is somehow is like, he has an IT person getting into my computer, all that beforehand, he gave to the police. And then he called, of course, I'm not leaving. It's my company, so you need to go. And he called the police. The police came in and he said, I said, this is my company. He said, no, you are not on the license. So the business, my name was not even on there. And it's like, so they have to escort me to getting out of my own business. So suddenly over time, I lost my dream. I lost my company. I was threatened to be deported. Because, it's just like at that time, you as immigrant, the stability is so important. When people telling you, he's threatening me, oh, you're going to be deported because FBI watching you, Homeland Security watching. These things, I was like, I saw it at that time. I said, oh my God, I don't know. With my 2-year-old baby, I just, maybe I should have just gave up and just wrapped up and just go. But in the end, of course, I just feel like I cannot just give up like this. So we went to the court to get the company back. I think at that time, after getting the company back, I was so harsh on myself. I said, what? You are so incapable. Look what you done. And like you're leading everything into this. How stupid you are. What kind of person you don't even check your business, your name not on the business license. All that things is just like, it's killing me. I feel like I don't think I was slept. I feel I didn't sleep for 6 months, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's like a zombie. You just keep doing what you do. And it's like, I think it's taken years for me to kind of getting better, to not like judging myself. So just feel like a stupidity and still like, how can you run a business? All that things. It's just that's one of example. I think I'm the most critic person to myself for years. And it just like every time I think the part of the thing also got in the burnout is just because that no matter how much I achieve, I constantly there's an internal voice telling me, you're not good enough. It's when I'm getting certain things done and I feel, oh my God, you did this at one moment, and then suddenly something gonna telling you, no, you need to keep doing, that's one of the biggest the problem for me. I think it's because of culture as well. It's just like, I think when we were raised in a way, is like my mom used to telling me, it's like telling my son, my mom is here. My son, if coming back and said, oh, how did you go with your, you did the test? He said, oh, Grandma, I did so good. I got a 95. And then like my mom was say, oh, where's that 5?
Well, the
You should be
5.
100.
My
My
dad.
life, get like
Yeah,
I think it took me a long time to adjust that internally critic, voice to me. I think the one of the transformational for me is really to learn how to be self-compassionate.
Let me ask you a question. So, in the betrayal of that partner and trusting other people and yourself, where were you able to make room for that? Not only trusting yourself, but trusting other people with your teenager.
Yeah. Took me a couple of years. It's just like feel the trust just so hard to trust anyone. It's like in my wildest dream, I would not think somebody would do that to another person. I don't know. It maybe is my nature on the trusting. I'm a very easy trusting person, actually. It's like if people, I can trust this so much more. And it's most difficult time after that. I just feel I cannot trust this thing. But that is really tore me inside. It's like, if you cannot trust people, you be so miserable. So miserable. And it's like, it's getting back is for me, I learned is I rather trust the people and let them prove me I'm wrong. And then at least I can sleep at night. It's like now I look back, actually, this mistake I made, I think is almost the life is deliberately did that to make me exactly where I needed to be, where I am today. I don't regret anything. I feel like it's like for me to be the mindset and the state of what I wanted to do, my purpose and everything leading to me here today is all from the past, the mistakes. I have to pay that partner to let him go because they cannot now I always joke that is the best investment I ever made in my life.
So, Jenny, we're going to wrap up, and we want to thank you, and thank you for pushing me to think about mistakes being kind of the fertilizer or the soil for adaptability and resilience. And so I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for what you're doing through Lush Decor as a leader and the opportunities that you are offering other women. So I want to thank you for that.
I love our community. I love YPO. And I really feel like, we needed to spread the words and to, especially for the girls and women. And there's just so many, we wanted to build in that more day and inclusion. And it has to start from every leader. And if we can, one person starting doing it and more, that's what YPO about, to make a better leader, to make our, the world a better place. I'm so humbled to be here and, share with you guys and to be part of the YPO.
All right. Thank you. And this has been Mistakes Over Failure with Jenny Jing Ju.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening.
We are Mistakes Over Failures, a podcast by YPO, the global leadership community of extraordinary chief executives.